just gave birth?
Turn around and sit down. Right there.
All right.
Yeah, let me have your legs.
Netflix viewers have been left horrified by Maternal Instinct, the documentary revisiting the chilling crimes of Taylor Parker. The Texas woman was sentenced to death after murdering her pregnant friend, Reagan Simmons Hancock, in 2020 and cutting her unborn baby from her womb after months of faking a pregnancy. She attacked Reagan with a hammer and stabbed her more than 100 times before fleeing with the baby. Parker then claimed she'd given birth at the side of the road and was rushed to hospital. Tragically, the newborn, named Braxlyn Sage, was declared dead on arrival. Parker was later arrested after her web of lies unravelled and was sentenced to death for capital murder in 2022. I'm Katie Forrester with the US Sun. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more true crime deep dives. While the Netflix documentary covers her crimes and includes emotional interviews from those affected, Parker's time behind bars is barely explored in the film. Here we break down what life is like for the 33-year-old, the youngest woman on Texas death row. Parker is held at the Patrick L. O'Daniel unit in Gatesville, Texas, home to the state's female death row inmates. She spends around 22 hours a day locked inside a concrete cell, which is roughly the size of a small closet or a grocery store parking space. The cramped space contains only a narrow bed, stainless steel toilet and sink, and a small desk area with a few personal belongings. Most days are spent alone behind a steel door, with little interaction beyond brief exchanges with prison staff. For Parker, the cell has become her entire world as she waits for her fate to be decided. Life on death row follows the same strict routine each day. Parker wakes early for inmate counts before spending hours alone reading, writing, or praying, with only limited and occasional access to communal television during approved time outside of her cell. Meals are delivered through a slot in the door and eaten alone. Breakfast can include oatmeal, pancakes, or cereal with fruit, while lunch and dinner typically rotate between basic hot meals, such as chicken, beans, rice, vegetables, bread, and other standard cafeteria-style dishes served across the Texas prison system. She can also buy limited snacks, coffee, and small commissary items if she has funds in her account. With minimal human contact and long stretches of isolation, the days often blur together in silence and routine. One of the few breaks in Parker's day is her limited time outside of her cell. She is typically allowed around 2 hours a day for recreation, showers, phone calls, and approved activities. Exercise takes place in heavily secured outdoor cages, surrounded by fencing and razor wire. While it offers a brief change of scenery, inmates remain separated and under constant supervision. Even this short time outside highlights how controlled life on death row remains. There are few comforts on Texas female death row, but Parker does have access to limited privileges. Women at the unit can volunteer for prison jobs, including sewing, knitting, crocheting, and Braille transcription work. These programs can sometimes lead to small perks, including limited access to a communal TV and increased structured interaction. Parker is also allowed to purchase snacks and personal items through commissary and books brought from the prison library. Despite her notoriety, her daily life remains tightly controlled and heavily restricted. Parker is not completely cut off from the outside world. She can exchange monitored letters, make supervised phone calls, and use approved electronic messaging systems. All communication is screened by prison staff, and visits are strictly controlled. They can be from attorneys, clergy, friends, and family, though contact is rare. Court evidence has shown a strained relationship with her mother, Shona Pryor, and it remains unclear if they still speak. Her distance also extends to her 2 children, Emerson and Trey. She has never had custody of her son, who lives with his father, while Parker's mother is now her daughter's full-time guardian. Public records show there is no confirmed ongoing contact between Parker and either child. Parker has also claimed she has found religion while on death row. In The New Yorker in 2025, she described being in a full-on war in my mind before being confronted with evidence during her trial. She said this moment led to a spiritual shift, claiming Jesus hit me straight on, flesh to flesh. and that she heard a voice telling her to open my eyes and see reality. She described arriving at her cell as the most grateful moment of my life, saying Christ was right there beside me. Parker also said she took victim impact statements as words of pain and grief and love that helped her begin a road to redemption. Parker's appeals have focused on claims she was denied a fair trial, including arguments that prosecutors used prejudicial material about her appearance and weight to influence the jury. She claims they were fat-shaming her. Her legal team also continues to challenge the handling of evidence presented during the trial. However, the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals has already rejected these arguments and upheld her conviction and death sentence. She now remains in post-conviction proceedings, where constitutional issues are still being raised. No execution date has been set, and under Texas law, one cannot be scheduled until all appeals are exhausted. This could take years or even decades. Despite her appeals, Parker told The New Yorker, "Thinking of the free world brings anxiety and fear of my past. It reminds me of those things that controlled me for so long." She added, "I do not believe in going home for myself. My place is here." Parker is housed alongside some of the most notorious female inmates in Texas. Among them is Darlie Routier, convicted over the 1996 stabbing death of her 5-year-old son, though she maintains her innocence. Also on the unit is Kimberly Cargill, sentenced for the 2010 murder of her disabled babysitter, who was killed and dumped on the side of a road. British national Linda Carty is also on death row in Texas after a 2001 kidnapping and home invasion that led to the death of a neighbor, Joanna Rodriguez. Also among the women is Erica Shepherd, who remains incarcerated for the 1993 murder of Marilyn Mager during a car theft. In a neighboring cell is Melissa Lucio, who was sentenced to death for the murder of her 2-year-old daughter, though her case is now under review amid claims her confession was coerced. Brittany Holberg is also one of the women after she was convicted of murder in the 1990s, though her conviction was later vacated and is still under legal review. Have you watched Maternal Instinct yet? And what did you think of Taylor Parker's case? Do you think this is the life she deserves, or should her appeals change the outcome? Let us know in the comments below and hit like and subscribe for more on this story.